What is up, YouTube? Want to give you guys a quick update on what's been going on my 2014 Mustang GT. Put some new mods in it about a week ago. Threw in a Mishimoto all aluminum radiator, an ATI balancer, and billet oil pump gears, and some L&M intake only cams. So those couple things went in over the weekend. Lund Racing is on the tuning. Flex fuel badge there for the E85 flex tune that I'm running. So as I was mentioning, Lund Racing did the tuning on this, and it's really worked out wonderfully. So this car has a let's take a look in here. Running a Cobra Jet intake manifold, for those that didn't already know. That's one of the first mods I did on this car. That and E85, I did that all at once and upgraded the injectors, did that all in one shot. And I got Lund Racing has been doing the tuning since the start. I've never had a problem with them. The car runs really nice. And just recently, like I said, past weekend, I put in a Mishimoto radiator. That install it wasn't hard, but it wasn't definitely involved. I think the hardest part was getting the transmission cooler and the transmission lines routed correctly for the new radiator, but all in all, it wasn't that bad. Also got a ATI balancer. Not sure you guys can see that. I probably won't be able to get a good shot of that. Yeah, we installed an ATI balancer, and I got billet oil pump gears from Boundary. Just went with Boundary just because of the cost. They were very well made when I got them. I put them in. I've been riding around maybe 100 miles or so. No issues at all. I think the biggest change though is the L&M intake only cams. I went with those because if I ever want a turbo or supercharge, those cams will work pretty well. I won't have to get another set of cams. You know what I mean? I could just put a supercharger or a turbo and leave those cams alone, and they would produce a pretty good horsepower. I don't have to turn around and buy a new set of cams for that. Car's been running great. Like I said, Lund did all the tuning. I got just about 55,000 miles on this car, and there's really no issues with it, honestly. The suspension does all the Mustang suspension things that Mustangs do. Kind of noisy. That solid rear axle is kind of rough when it's bumpy. Those are normal Mustang things. But yeah, just want to give you guys a quick update. Let's go for a little ride down the street. I'm all about the fuel ratio. Not that it changes. Car runs about 195. It's really hot out today. Get my seatbelt. It's really hot out today, so my cylinder head temp's usually about 195, 200, depending how much I'm getting on it. But These L&M intake only cams really make a difference that you can feel down low in the torque. I mean, we spend a lot of time. We don't spend a lot of time going 100 miles an hour, you know. I mean, we do, but not very much time. So I really appreciate having that torque down low. This car has a Circle D 5C converter in it, so it's kind of takes a little bit of gas pedal to get it moving, you know, because it's got that high stall. That's one of the regrets I did. It's not really a regret, it's just I probably would have done a smaller converter. Some circumstances came up where I ended up with a really good deal on a Circle D 5C, and it was too good to pass up, so I could not refuse it. Too much sunlight going this way. So I went ahead and bought it and put it in, and overall it really hasn't been that bad. I actually like it. I think the tune has a lot to do with how the car is going to run on that big stall. And well, I also have 3.31 gears, so that helps you, helps it not be so lazy, right? Off the line. You guys can see it. Kind of get those RPMs up to get moving, but this car really has a lot of low-end torque now. I wouldn't call it a lot, but definitely more than what it had before I put in the L&M 1 intake cams. The install process really wasn't that bad. It was involved. I wouldn't recommend it if you know, if you're a guy with you know, the one socket, the 24-piece socket set from Sears, you know, I'd say, you know, cut your teeth on something else. But if you've worked on cars before, you got a good set of tools, I'd say go for it. It's really not that bad. There's a million YouTube videos on how to install the cams, how to set the timing, all that good stuff. It's really not that bad. I was quoted, I think, $1,000 to do my cams, my oil pump gear, and the balancer. And I was like, yeah, hell that. I can do this one myself. I'm just being lazy. And really, it wasn't bad at all. If it's something that you want to do, I would say, if you're mechanically inclined, go for it. Definitely go buy a new torque wrench, unless you have a way of calibrating that old rusty wrench you've got in your toolbox. Buy a new one. That way you're sure to get the cam cap bolts and the cam phaser to cam bolts torqued in correctly. You know, this is really, that's like quarter throttle. I mean, I'm not even, shit really gets crazy when you use the gas pedal on this thing. I mean, people would think I'm hammering it, but I'm really not. Just the setup being what it is, it revs. But yeah, just wanted to make a quick video, let you guys know 2014 Mustang GT with the Cobra Jet intake, Circle D 5C converter, 3.31 gears, billet oil pump oil gears are out of the way. You know, if I ever want to do a super or turbocharge with maybe on the table for next year, possibly. But you know, for now I'm not really gonna mess with it. There's other things I can do. For example, I still have the headers on here just because I've seen how difficult that job is without dropping the K-member. I don't really want to drop the K-member on this car. If I do, I'll be putting in something like a UPR or BMR K-member, so I really don't want to mess with it. I'm probably not gonna, just going to hold off on that. I don't know, I didn't mention, I have a cat delete with the On3 X pipe. those were $259. I installed that also, and I also have a one-piece aluminum drive shaft, and that I also installed myself. And I think that going from the stock header to aftermarket shorty, which is what I don't want to go backward and get rid of the X pipe now, you know. Probably be I don't think it's worth it. I actually have a set of shorty headers in the garage, so I've kind of already bought them, but there's a lot of labor involved going in, so probably next time I get a day off, I might just do that over a weekend. I'd call that, you know, that's kind of work intensive. The cam install really wasn't that bad. It took me 4 nights. I worked on it after work. It took me 4 nights to get it done. It really was straightforward. I just kept everything neat, you know, kept everything organized, took pictures as I went, and really everything went smoothly. I think that Mishimoto radiator was the real pain in the ass, because getting the transmission cooler to fit in between, you know, the condenser and the radiator was kind of a pain in the ass. I had to get rid of a steel bracket that the transmission lines were using as guides. You know, I couldn't really keep those. But I made sure to zip tie everything, and made sure none of those lines were rubbing against what you call a hard rub, I guess. Make sure it's not rubbing against chassis, against any brackets, or, you know, balancers or anything like that, or pulleys. You know, keep everything away. When you move a bracket, you know, that's what happens, and you have to kind of strap them or force them, you know, zip tie them to something else, that way they don't rub, as far as loose lines and stuff. So really the radiator was more a pain in the ass than anything else on the install. The oil pump gears really wasn't bad. Like I would say, just make sure you get yourself a good set of torque wrench, and make sure you torque everything down correctly to spec. You won't have to worry about your cams flying off when you're using that gas pedal. There was some spirited acceleration for you guys, and really, man, I'm not even on the throttle. I'm just that's like 40% throttle. I mean, honestly, guys, you put the pedal to the metal on this thing, shit gets crazy. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't be afraid to mod. You know, start out with simple things on your own. Build up your tools, you know, if it's something you're just getting into. If you want to trust somebody to do your tuning, I'll tell you trust Lund Racing. And that's because those are the only people I know. I'm not saying there's not other good tuners out there. I'm just saying that those are the people that I've dealt with, and I've never had a problem. And that's so important, you know, because a bad tune will ruin your engine. Everything you've done, you know, go to shit. Anyway, GT Dreamer signing off.